Okay, we can start. In this lecture, we are considering the ISLM model and the effect of fiscal and monetary policies, but in an open, considering an open economy. Our assumption is that the expected inflation rate is equal to 0. This means that the nominal and interest rate is equal to the real interest rate, so the real interest rate is the same as the same value of the nominal interest rate, and also the real exchange rate, which is defined as the real exchange rate is defined as the nominal exchange rate multiplied by foreign price divided by national price, where the nominal exchange rate is defined as the price of foreign currency in terms of national currency. So if we have an increase in the nominal exchange rate, we have an appreciation. Vice versa, if we have a decrease, if we have an increase, we have a depreciation, because we need more, we need more national currency for unit of foreign currency. In the case of a reduction in the nominal exchange rate, we have an appreciation. This is an index of competitiveness. Now we assume that the ratio between the foreign currency price and the national prices will be equal to 1. We normalize to 1. So we consider this price as fixed and exogenous, and the ratio is equal to 1. So this means that the real exchange rate is equal to, under this assumption, to the nominal exchange rate E. So we can write again our IS equation as the income, the equilibrium conditions is that income is equal to consumption, which is a function of y, and so the real income and the nominal interest rate, because nominal interest rate is equal to real exchange rate, the same for the investment, which is a function of income and nominal interest rate, plus net export, which is a function of the national income, of the foreign income, or world income or international trade, and the nominal exchange rate, because nominal exchange rate is equal to the real effective exchange rate under this assumption. Okay, plus government expenditure. And this is the IS curve. We know that if we have a depreciation, so an increase in nominal exchange rate, we have an increase in net exports. If we have an increase in income, we have a decrease in net export, because we have more imports. If we have an increase in foreign or world exchange rate, world income, this means an increase also on net exports. So this is the first equation. The second equation is the standard LM curve, which is the real money stock equal to my demand, which is a function of income and nominal interest rate. Finally, we have the uncovered interest parity, which can be written as the actual current exchange rate equal to the expected exchange rate for the next period, divided by 1 plus the internal interest rate minus the external or foreign interest rate. Now, using these three equations, we can observe the effect of an increase for instance, of the in government expenditure. So in this case, we have the standard SLM model, but also we have the nominal interest rate and income. This is LM curve, this is IS curve, and this is the equilibrium, the interest rate equilibrium between money market and goods market, and this income equilibrium in equilibrium. Now we can consider another picture in which we have the current exchange rate IT and the nominal interest rate. We know from this equation this relation is decreasing. So if we have an increase in internal interest rate, we have a decrease in the exchange rate, and this means an appreciation. Now, if we start with an initial equilibrium condition in which the interest rate is equal to the foreign interest rate, when the interest rate in this equation again is equal to the foreign interest rate, this means that the current exchange rate is equal to the expectation in exchange rate. This means that if there is no expectation of appreciation or nor depreciation. Now, if we have a fiscal an expansion in government expenditure, we have this movement in IS toward IS prime. This means an increase in both in interest rate and in income. This increase in interest rate means that today we can observe a new interest rate, neither interest rate I prime, which means that the exchange rate will appreciate at the level E prime. But the expectation in exchange rate doesn't change, will not change. So the expectation in this case is an expected depreciation in exchange rate. So we know that the internal interest rate can be higher than the foreign interest rate only if there is an expectation of depreciation. This picture shows also that we have the so-called twin deficits, because the increase in government expenditure or in the decrease in taxes implies an increase in government deficit. But the first effect of appreciation in the exchange rate means also a decrease in net export, so means a trade balance deficit. So this is the so-called twin deficit.